In this video, we answer the question of how to create a newsletter with Framework 360 to send to your clients. What is a newsletter? Simply put, it is a mass email that we send with promotional updates, for example about our company, to our clients, to inform them of something we want. To create a newsletter with Framework 360, first of all, you obviously need to have clients. First, we enter the client module in the sidebar on the left and make sure we have someone. If we don't have them, we can either add them manually. By clicking Add, we can enter the name, for example, the email. Obviously, since they need to receive a newsletter, a mobile phone number, if we also want to send them mass SMS. Since Framework 360 allows sending emails, SMS, push notifications, messages, WhatsApp, and much more. And then we click on Save. As we can see, in fact, we will have created our first client and we will find it in the client list. If instead we want to import all our clients, perhaps those we have already saved, in an Excel file, we can click on Import Export CSV at the top and then drag or select by clicking the client file to import. And then we select the client file that we wish to import. Framework 360 will map all the fields and we will simply need to click on the corresponding entry in the module. Clients to which the column in the CSV file corresponds. Let's make sure that when we upload a file, it is in CSV format. If we use Excel, we can save as and then select a CSV file delimited by the list separator. As we can see here, we go on to select the corresponding fields. In this case, we have the company name, address, city, province, postal code, and phone number. And the email will be automatically recognized because it contains the @ symbol, and Framework 360 can recognize it. Finally, we could also select which lists to add our clients to or which tags to automatically assign to this list we have imported. For example, lead, prospect, customer, and other custom tags that we can always create under customer settings. Great, let's start the import. Ignore duplicates and wait a few minutes for Framework 360 to import our entire list. Once imported, by accessing the client module, we will find all the clients we have imported, with the corresponding email, the mapped phone number, and all the other fields we wanted to include. For example, there will be the address, the postal code, the province, the municipality, etc. Now, we just need to go inside Marketing, Recipients, or Lists, and create our first client list. Indeed, with Framework 360, we can segment all our clients very thoroughly. We click on Add. Here we can name it, for example, All Clients, and we can synchronize the clients, both current and future, or only future subscribers, or only the contacts already subscribed. Let's do only the contacts already subscribed and click Synchronize All. Automatically, as we can see from the client module, all the clients to be synchronized will appear in our list. We click on Save, and we will have our list ready. As Framework 360 continues to map our file, more and more contacts will appear. To send the newsletter, we go into Marketing, Newsletter, and click Create New. Newsletter at the top right. We give our newsletter a name, for example, Promotional Newsletter, and click Create Newsletter. Here, in a very easy configuration page, we can create our newsletter by clicking on Add Recipients. Here we could decide, based on what the automation should start. In this case, adding to a list works perfectly. But we could also send a mass email to everyone who is assigned a specific label, to everyone who has a birthday, everyone who submits a form, or when a sale is created. In this case, we click on Adding to a List. Here we can select the list All Customers, where all the customers we wanted to import into this segment are. As we can see, Framework 360 also creates an automatic list named after the file we imported, like this. We will obviously not lose the complete information of the list we imported. Additionally, we can also exclude certain lists if we have a list of customers to exclude from all customers. We can select it from here to prevent the customers in this specific list from receiving the newsletter. So let's move on. By clicking Save, we click on only the contacts already subscribed. Since the list continues to update itself, we click Save and we will have selected our list. Next, we can go to the second box where we will decide when to send obviously this newsletter. We click on Set Wait. We could decide to set a time period, a specific date, a specific time. In this case, we leave it to send immediately. We could also decide to set a repetition to have it sent, for example, every week. If we want this mass email to be sent every week, we can easily leave it like that, to avoid repeating the sending. And finally, we could decide what to send massively. Email, SMS, YART, notifications, push. In this case, we want to send an email. We click on Edit Email. Here, we could give a subject. To the email, for example, we can use a short code, the recipient's name. We click, insert a gift. For you, as we can see, In fact, when the email is sent, the recipient will dynamically receive their name. And then a gift for you. Consequently, all our clients named, for example, Mario, Roberto, and Andrea, will each receive the email with their name. Next, we can create a sender. We enter a sender's name. In this case, I wrote tutorial, but it could be Luca. If, for example, we want to use the operator's name or the site's name, for instance, in this case, Framework the 60. The email from which we want to send the newsletters, in fact, all our clients will receive the newsletter from info-framework60.it. Attention! Everyone obviously needs to enter their own, but be careful because this email inbox must exist. Since the newsletter sending system will send us an email with a link to click to verify, obviously, that the address exists. Here, we could decide whether to use it for email or for SMS. In this case, obviously being an email, we use it for the email. Save. Very well. Next, we will simply need to create our newsletter. There is always the convenient visual builder from Framework 360 that we have already seen in many other tutorials. But we could also choose, through the little robot here on the right, to create the newsletter with artificial intelligence. For example, this is a promotional email or a newsletter. We can choose from many different types of emails generated by artificial intelligence, which we can then modify as we like. We can choose a greeting email, event announcement, etc. We click on Newsletter, Next. Here we can decide whether to create a general newsletter, product updates, company news, and much more. We click on General Newsletter for this tutorial, then click Next. If we prefer a light email or a dark email, in this case, I always recommend choosing a light email. But if someone, of course, wants to create a more elegant, more luxurious email and has a brand identity that includes dark colors, then we can choose dark. We click on Next and then click on Confirm. We wait for the generation to finish and we will have our newsletter ready to be edited and sent. Here we have our newsletter ready. It has placed our logo and a title, and then a text and images that we can easily modify. For example, here we can write, as we saw in the subject, we can reuse it. Recipient's name, a gift for you. In this case, we can remove this, and then here we can obviously insert Dear Recipient, full name, which will include first name, last name. But we can also change it with the shortcode recipient's name, because full name will insert first name, last name. Together, however, we can easily just include the first name. We are committed to keeping you updated with the latest web trends. We could modify our text, for example, by adding a discount code. For you code 12, for instance, there you go. Perhaps we can also remove the second part, products are not needed, and a CTA in this case is to purchase on our site. Obviously, everyone will create the newsletter they prefer, knowing their own customer audience. As a click event, we set it to open a page and then select, for example, the home page. Here we go. Great. We have our newsletter ready. Let's go ahead and click Save. Save it perfectly. Once this is done, if we also want to test it, obviously before sending it, we can see that there is a feature here. Inside the visual builder, there is this email option that allows you to enter an address to send it to, obviously the email, before sending it to the clients. We could also replace all the shortcodes present. And once approved, when we are satisfied, we can click on Update Status, Start. Thus, by doing so, the entire list of our clients will receive our newsletter with the discount code and the button to access the website.